Buckle up, everyone, because today we're taking a deep dive into life in 2050.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at a YouTube video.
It's called How Life Will Look Like in 2050.
From Simply Tech.
Exactly.
And it's really interesting to see all these predictions laid out like this, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And they cover everything from like
how we're going to be thinking and learning
to how we'll get around and even where we might be living.
It even gets into the bigger questions of what does it mean to be human, you know?
Totally. With all this technology, right?
Exactly.
Definitely. Okay, so let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
Okay, so one of the first things that really caught my eye was this whole idea of nanotechnology.
Yeah.
So they're talking about these nanobots.
The nanobots in our brains.
Yeah, connecting us directly to the virtual world, like we're all becoming part computer.
Right, like a brain-computer interface.
Yes.
A BCI.
Yeah, a BCI, that's what they call it.
And with that, you know, humans could problem solve super fast, access information instantly, and even control stuff just with our minds.
Whoa, so no more forgetting appointments or like struggling to remember facts or anything?
Exactly.
Wow, they even said that smartphones and calculators would be obsolete.
Yeah, no need.
That's wild. I can't even imagine.
Especially students.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Doing math without a calculator.
Yeah, talk about a challenge.
Yeah, but you know, maybe we develop new skills that we can't even comprehend right now.
Okay, that's a little mind-bending, but I kind of like it.
Me too.
Let's move on to something a little bit more tangible.
Okay.
3D printing.
Yes.
We're already seeing it changing the world.
Okay.
But the video says it's going to be even bigger.
Oh yeah, way bigger.
We're talking about going from printing, tools and houses.
Right now, those are like the big thing.
Printing vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
And basically anything.
Anything you could possibly imagine.
That's crazy.
And you know what's really exciting is that 3D printers are becoming so much more affordable.
Oh, totally.
Accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
Open source designs.
So anyone can...
Yeah, just create whatever they want.
Wow. That raises a lot of questions, though.
It does?
Like, for instance, could we solve world hunger with 3D printed food?
That's a big question.
I mean, think about it. If we could just print food cheaply and easily, would we even need agriculture?
Right. What would that even look like?
Yeah, the whole system would change.
That's fascinating.
It is. It's a lot to consider.
A lot to consider.
Okay, now for a prediction that's even more out there, digital immortality.
Okay, this one's a little...
I know.
Rare.
This is where the video suggests that because of these BCIs, we could transfer our consciousness to a computer.
Our memories.
All our experiences.
Everything.
So it's basically like uploading our brains to a hard drive, right?
And then downloading it into a robot body.
Whoa, hold on. Would we even be human at that point?
I mean, that's a big question.
It's a lot to think about.
A lot of ethical and philosophical questions, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And also, initially at least, I'm thinking this type of technology would be very expensive.
Oh, absolutely. It would definitely create a whole new level of inequality.
Right. Who gets to live forever?
Yeah, exactly. But on a more optimistic note, the video also predicts that we'll be able to eradicate diseases.
Huge diseases.
Like cancer.
Cancer.
It would be an incredible achievement.
Absolutely groundbreaking.
But again, the question of access comes up.
Right. Who gets cured?
Exactly.
Something to think about.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about transportation in 2050.
Okay.
The video predicts self-driving cars will be everywhere.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. It's not that surprising given what companies like Tesla are already doing.
Yeah, they're doing amazing things.
But just imagine, fewer car accidents.
Less traffic.
Yeah. And you could actually be productive or relaxed during your commute.
Right, your car's driving for you.
It's a whole different way of life.
Exactly.
But it goes even further than that.
Oh, yeah.
They also talk about Elon Musk's Hyperloop project.
Oh, wow.
That's the one that aims to create a super fast underground transportation system.
Using magnets.
Yeah, electromagnetic levitation.
Yeah.
So picture this. You step into a cod, and in minutes, you're across the country.
At like 600 miles per hour.
That would revolutionize travel.
It would change everything.
And the video suggests that innovations like this, along with the shift towards renewable energy, could really reduce our dependence on fossil fuel.
Oh, yeah.
They even highlighted a company called Blue Rise.
Interesting.
They're developing this ocean thermal energy conversion technology.
Okay.
So they're harnessing the power of the ocean to create clean energy.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know, right? And get this, they also talk about space travel.
Okay, now we're getting futuristic.
Space tourism is becoming more and more of a thing.
Well, yeah, companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin are really pushing boundaries.
And the video suggests that by 2050, vacations to Mars or the moon
wow.
might not be just for astronauts anymore.
So we could be going on vacation to space.
I mean, it's hard to even imagine.
It's mind-blowing.
But let's be real, it'll probably be a luxury experience.
Oh, yeah. Very expensive.
At least at first, yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, let's move on to another potentially amazing, but also kind of scary topic.
Okay.
Artificial intelligence, or AI.
Here we go.
I know, right?
It's developing so fast.
And the video highlights its potential to solve complex problems, even create art.
Oh, yeah. AI art is a big thing.
But it also acknowledges the potential dangers.
Like, what if AI becomes smarter than humans?
Exactly. And that could lead to job displacement or, maybe even...
A robot apocalypse.
Okay, I know that sounds dramatic.
A little dramatic.
But it's a concern that a lot of people have.
It's definitely something to consider.
Yeah. The video emphasizes the importance of developing AI responsibly and ethically.
Right. Making sure it aligns with our values.
And that it's used for good.
For good, exactly.
It's not just about the technology itself.
It's about how we use it.
Exactly. Now let's talk about education.
Okay.
The video predicts a big shift toward digital learning.
Yeah. Well, the pandemic really accelerated that.
Yeah, it did. They even suggest that fully digital schools might be the norm by 2050.
Wow.
Yeah, and over 70% of higher education students
So most college students,
could be enrolled in online degrees.
that would make education more accessible.
So much more accessible and globalized.
People from all over the world could learn from the best teachers.
Imagine learning from the comfort of your own home.
That's pretty amazing.
It is. But I can't help but wonder, what about having an AI-powered robot teacher?
Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, would it be as patient as a human teacher?
That's a good question.
I know, it's something to think about.
It is. It really highlights the role of technology in education.
Yeah.
There's so much potential for personalized learning and greater access.
But we also need to remember the importance of human connection,
Right,
especially in the learning process.
for sure.
So it seems like we're heading towards a future where technology is deeply embedded in every part of our lives.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, let's dive into the metaverse.
Okay, here we go.
The metaverse is really gaining a lot of attention.
It is.
Basically, it's a persistent virtual world.
Where people can interact and participate in all kinds of activities.
Yeah, and even build their own virtual spaces.
The video paints a picture of a metaverse where you can do almost anything.
Shop, travel, go to concerts,
Spend time with loved ones.
all without leaving home.
Whoa. I mean, it's fascinating, but it makes you think.
It does.
What happens to our social lives?
Yeah, what about our sense of reality?
If we're spending more time in virtual worlds than in the real world?
That's a huge question.
It is. It really makes you think about how we define community
Connection.
and even reality itself.
It's a blurring of the lines between the physical and digital.
Totally. And companies like Facebook are already investing heavily in the metaverse.
Oh, yeah, they're all over it.
It's fascinating and a little scary at the same time.
Definitely.
But let's step back from the virtual world for a second and talk about something that affects us all in the real world.
Okay, money.
Money, money, money. The video predicts the cash is on its way out.
Really?
I've noticed that I'm using cash less and less these days.
Me too.
So it's not that far-fetched. The rise of digital payments, AI, and decentralized finance.
It's all changing so fast.
Yeah, they suggest that by 2050, cash might be a thing of the past.
Wow, a relic.
Imagine a world where your smart pantry automatically orders groceries and charges your account.
Or your self-driving car pays for tolls and parking.
Yeah, without you even thinking about it.
That's both convenient and a little unsettling.
It is. It raises questions about privacy and security.
And control.
Who has access to our financial data in a cashless society?
And what happens if there's a system failure?
So many questions.
There's a lot to consider.
And we've only just scratched the surface of the video's predictions. There's so much more to uncover.
I know. I can't wait to dive into more of this.
Me too. We'll be back with part 2 of our deep dive into life in 2050 soon.
I'm ready.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back to our deep dive into life in 2050. So before we jump into the next prediction, I just want to take a moment
Yeah.
and reflect on what we've talked about so far.
Okay.
What are your initial thoughts about all these changes?
Well, I've got to say it's a lot to take in.
It is.
I'm excited by the possibilities, but also a little intimidated.
Yeah.
It feels like we're on the verge of some really big shifts.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's hard to know what it'll really mean for us,
Yeah.
both as individuals and as a society.
I totally agree. And I think it's important to approach all these advancements with curiosity,
Right.
but also a healthy dose of critical thinking.
Yeah, definitely. We need to consider the benefits and the challenges.
Exactly.
Okay, so with that in mind,
Let's move on.
let's move on to the next prediction, which focuses on real estate and the future of our homes.
Okay, so we're talking houses and apartments and all that.
Exactly. And the video suggests that smart homes are going to get even smarter.
Oh, yeah. Smart homes are already pretty cool,
I know.
but they're about to get way cooler.
Using AI to, like, anticipate our needs.
And respond to our moods.
Yeah, imagine a house that adjusts the lighting and temperature based on how you're feeling.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Or plays your favorite music to cheer you up.
Like it knows you're having a bad day.
Yeah, exactly. No more arguing over the thermostat.
No more fumbling for the light switch.
It's like living in a space that's truly personalized.
Exactly. Tailored just for you.
And it also mentions interactive hologram televisions
Oh, wow.
that we could control with our minds,
Wait, with our minds.
thanks to those nanobots we talked about earlier.
Oh, right. The brain-computer interface.
Yeah. Think about it. You could switch channels, adjust the volume,
Browse streaming services.
just by thinking about it.
It's like something straight out of a movie.
It is, but it makes you wonder, how these technologies might change our relationship with our physical surroundings.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Will we become so dependent on technology that we lose touch with the simple things?
Yeah, like just enjoying nature.
Exactly, or having a face-to-face conversation.
It's all about finding that balance
Right.
between embracing new technology and preserving the things that make us human.
Totally. Okay, let's shift gears back to the metaverse for a minute.
Okay.
I'm still wrapping my head around spending so much time in a virtual world.
I know, it's a big concept.
It is, but the video suggests that the lines between the physical and digital.
They're going to get blurrier and blurrier.
Yeah. So instead of meeting friends for coffee
We might be putting on our VR headsets.
and meeting in a virtual cafe,
Exactly. Or maybe we'll take virtual vacations
to exotic destinations.
without ever leaving our homes.
Whoa. The video suggests those scenarios could become totally normal.
It's wild.
And while some people might love that,
Yeah.
others might find it isolating.
Yeah, I can see that.
It raises questions about how we define community,
Connection.
even reality itself.
What happens when our virtual lives become more important than our real lives?
That's a deep question.
It is. It's something philosophers and social scientists are already thinking about.
As we spend more time in virtual spaces, we need to be aware of how it's affecting us.
Right. Our perceptions, our relationships, our sense of self.
It's like we're in this giant social experiment.
And we don't know the results yet.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's not get too lost in the hypothetical, though.
Right.
The video also mentions other things about life in 2050.
That are worth exploring.
Yeah, we've got advancements in healthcare, transportation,
The future of work and education.
and we can't forget about the ethical and societal implications of all these changes.
We need to be mindful of the unintended consequences.
Yeah, making sure technology benefits everyone.
Not just a select few.
Right, so let's get back to those predictions.
Okay, let's do it.
The video claims that diseases like cancer will be cured by 2050.
Wow, that would be incredible.
I know, but what about access to those treatments?
That's a really good point. New technology is often very expensive.
We need to make sure everyone benefits from these breakthroughs, not just the wealthy.
Absolutely. Healthcare shouldn't be a luxury.
Agreed. But on a brighter note, let's talk about transportation.
God.
The video predicts that self-driving cars will be the norm by 2050.
Yeah, I could see that happen.
Companies like Tesla are already making progress with that technology.
Yeah, they're leading the way.
I can see the benefits, like fewer accidents and less traffic.
Definitely.
But what about the people who work in the transportation industry?
Oh, that's true.
What happens to all the truck drivers and taxi drivers?
When their jobs are automated.
It's something to think about
Yeah, we need to support those workers.
and create new opportunities for them.
Absolutely.
It's a reminder that these changes have ripple effects.
Yeah, they affect everything.
Okay, but let's not focus on the downsides. The video also talks about space tourism.
That's right. Space tourism is really capturing people's imaginations.
I know, it's so exciting.
Companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin are making it a reality.
And the video suggests that by 2050, vacations to Mars or the moon might actually be possible.
Wow, vacations to space.
It's mind-blowing, but also probably going to be incredibly expensive.
Yeah, at least at first.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this part of our deep dive.
We have.
We've talked about super intelligent homes, immersive virtual worlds, medical breakthroughs, driverless cars, and even space vacations.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to process, and it's important to remember that these are just predictions.
Not guarantees.
The future is shaped by the choices we make.
And the actions we take.
By exploring these possibilities, we can start to imagine what the future might look like and prepare for the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead.
Absolutely.
Wow, it's really mind-blowing to think about how much our lives could change in just a few decades. But before we wrap up this deep dive, I'm curious, out of all these predictions we've discussed,
Yeah.
which one stands out to you the most?
That's a good question. I mean, they're all so interconnected, it's hard to choose just one.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it's the brain-computer interface.
Correct.
That one really captures my imagination, the idea that we could basically merge our minds with technology,
Right.
access information instantly, and control our surroundings with just our thoughts.
It's wild.
It is. It's both fascinating and kind of unsettling at the same time.
I agree. It's like we're entering a whole new stage of human evolution.
But we don't know where it's going.
Exactly. And that's why these conversations are so important.
We need to really think critically about these technologies.
Yeah. It's not just about the cool factor.
It's about understanding how they'll shape our lives and our society.
Absolutely. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement.
Yeah.
But we need to remember that technology is a tool.
Right.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
It's up to us to make sure it's used responsibly.
And ethically.
Yeah, we need to consider the consequences, the ethical implications, and the impact on society as a whole.
It's a lot of responsibility.
But also a huge opportunity.
We have the chance to create a better world with all this technology.
A world that's more equitable, more sustainable, and more fulfilling for everyone.
And that starts with education, with these conversations, and encouraging critical thinking.
Exactly.
Well, this deep dive has given me a lot to think about.
Me too.
We've explored so much, from nanobots to vacations on Mars.
It's clear that the future holds both amazing potential and some big challenges.
I think the biggest takeaway is that the future isn't set in stone.
It's something we're creating right now.
Through our choices and actions.
And our imagination.
So, as we wrap up this episode,
Yeah.
I want to leave our listeners with a challenge.
Okay, I like it.
Think about what you've heard today, what resonated with you, what concerns you, and most importantly,
What role do you want to play in shaping the future?
if your future is full of possibilities, and it's up to all of us to make it a future worth living in.
Well said.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into life in 2050.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, stay curious,
Yeah.
stay engaged,
Yeah.
and keep exploring.